Somebody started, Shay's not here.
I think Iowa State in league plays like, well, I mean, they're +5 in turnovers overall, so just talk about ball security and.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what their numbers are, but when we played them, was it 3 weeks ago? It'd be 3 weeks ago Saturday, when we played them, they were number one in America in percentage of possessions that they turned their opponent over. And I think it was like 28%. And I think in league play, that number's still 22% or something like that, which is still like the highest in the country. So you're turning over teams in your league 22% of the time, then that's a ridiculously high number. So yeah, ball security is going to be very important. And got to get a shot every possession. No guarantee you're going to get a good shot, but you got to make sure you give yourself a chance to make a basket every possession.
And then you're down one big, but yeah, your bigs kind of stood out. Your depth of bigs, you got more guys stepping up.
Yeah, I thought Zach was great the other night. Gave us some great minutes, and Ernest was being really good the last two games. So yeah, that's important. 16 and 12, I think, out of those two spots, and then like 6 block shots or whatever. That's pretty good production from that 40 minutes. Much better than what we were getting before. So yeah, that's a bonus, and maybe less is more. You get a couple of guys nicked up, and maybe guys know they have to play, and maybe that's something that's been good for those guys' psyche.
On the injury front, how is Bobby doing, and Kevin as well?
Well, we didn't practice yesterday. We watched tape, and Bobby was fine. Same with Kevin. I think they'll both be available for Saturday, even though I don't think either will practice today. But at least we're thinking they'll both be available if nothing changes.
And with Zuby, what's the outlook for him over the next few weeks?
It's not quite to the point where it's day to day, but we were hopeful it was a 2 to 3 week thing happened, set out whenever he got hurt, and we're still hopeful that's the case. So I still think it's probably going to be a couple more weeks.
And you talked a lot about wanting to be more aggressive on the offensive end. What do you notice about him, just difference when you see him being aggressive versus maybe more passive?
Well, the thing about it is they're guarding him different, so he's not getting as many paint touches now as what he did before, because that's our best offense, is him touching the paint off the bounce. But I do think that, Juan's a good shooter, and he just doesn't shoot it often, and he may need a little bit more time to get it off, but he's a good shooter, and he's got to make people pay when they decide to play off of him. I personally love the thought of people saying, let's make Harris beat us. I love that thought, because I think he shoots it plenty good enough to make them do that, to make him do that. So, but we're so much better with just, I can't speak to other teams moving forward, but if you look at his stats in conference, and I know they're a little skewed because he got off to such a good start, but if you look at stats in conference, it's hard not to guard somebody that shoots close to 50% from 3, and he's done that.
What is wrong with Kevin? Is it his finger?
Yes, it's his right index finger.
Why wouldn't you be able to practice with that?
Well, if it hurts and you catch it, you shoot it, you dribble it with your right hand, that may limit it a little bit. So.
But is it broken? Or?
No, it's not broken. No.
What about MJ?
MJ couldn't go the other night, so that's. He told me at halftime he couldn't go. So that's. He does have spasms and all that stuff, but I didn't get him in the first half, and that probably led to more tightness, but hopefully he can be a piece that we have moving forward that we can use.
Yeah, and then to complete it, Cuff and Cam.
Cam is, neither one are 100%. I don't know if either one are close to 100%, because I think they're both kind of at that 80% range, but the last 20 will be the hardest to get better. So. Yeah, I can't see either one of them impacting us moving forward in a big way at all.
What do you think of Gabe's performance here against you and Grill?
Well, Grill is capable of making, 6 in a game, 7 in a game. That's been proven. What did he make his first 6 the other night against Tech? And that's coming off an injury. He didn't play against Missouri, I don't believe. But he quick release and got a green light. And, Gabe to me has kind of emerged as one of the best players in our league. He's a real guard. I mean, he can get his own shot. He can shoot off the catch. He's got size. He can guard multiple positions. He's the best charge taker in our league. There's a lot of things that he does well. He's a winner.
What do you think of the 11 a.m. start and how Hilton Coliseum figures to be?
I'm sure that it'll be dead and everybody will still be asleep because of the 11 a.m.
I mean, how
start.
wild it'll be there.
No, it'll be great. It'll be a great atmosphere. It'll be great. It always is there. But it'll be a good atmosphere. One of the best places to play in our league, without doubt. And even though it's an early start, the team that wakes up first probably have the best chance to have some success at least early. But I anticipate it being a juiced atmosphere.
You said a while ago, I think maybe a few weeks back, that Zach wasn't really playing to his strengths as much, and because of what you're asking him to do. Has he accepted that better, grown into that more? Is he changing?
Yeah, I think so. No matter who you play for or what system you play in, aggressiveness is still a requirement. Going after balls relentlessly is still a requirement. Those type of things. Screening hard is still a requirement. And to me, all our bigs weren't doing those things as effectively as what they were capable of doing. And it could be for multiple reasons, scared you're gonna set a moving screen. It could be a lot of different reasons. But I think that Zach is of the mindset, more so now, especially in the last, I'd say 5 or 6 games, that even though he hadn't played in some games in that stretch, that practice is saying this is what is best for us and in turn best for me. And I think Ernest is doing a better job in that area too.
Did you ever have to talk to him in detail about that?
Yeah, we went over everything in detail, yeah. And he's great. Zach wants to play, he wants to help us. He loves KU, wants us to win. But I don't feel like that, let's call it like it is. We're not going to change how we play to fit him. He knows that. I mean, not expecting that. It's more important probably fit, Grady and Juan and, Jay Will and that kind of stuff. But we're not going to play to fit him. But if we did play a different way, I could see that benefiting Zach. If we decided we're going to play 2 bigs regardless, we're going to play zone, we're going to do certain things, that would benefit Zach. But that's not what we're going to do. And he understands that. I mean, it's nobody's fault. I just think he's adjusting better to what we have to have him do for us to have a best chance.
Yeah, that positive adjustment's not a given with a kid, any kid, right? I mean, is there some pride from you seeing him get that light bulb?
Well, he's a great kid. He's a great kid, and the expectations for him, in my mind, were pretty high going into the year, and it hasn't worked out. Not speaking out of turn, hasn't worked out to this date what the expectations you thought they could be. I thought it was a coin flip whether or not he's going to start for us, this year. And then I've told you guys this. I said we went till November without playing KJ Adams at the 5 in practice at all. And I said, but if we do, he's going to beat you guys out. But I don't think that's what's best. And that's exactly what happened, and we've adjusted kind of how to play with KJ in there, but that doesn't mean that Zach and now Ernest, since everybody else is nicked up, that doesn't mean that they can't have a similar type role, and we've seen it with the production that those two had the other night. I mean, those two guys had 6 block shots. No disrespect to KJ, that's not what he does. That's an element that we got that we don't normally get. So, you look at it this way: 6 block shots, all block shots are in tight. You shoot 50% of the balls in tight. That's 6 points right there. So that's important, and they're both doing a much better job with that.
Yeah. Also, you talked the other day about what you do scouting wise. You watch the last few games and then your last game against the team and stuff like that. Do you look much at, how Iowa State played K-State and how they play other teams in the league as far
Yes.
as how it fits you too? I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll look at exactly, how they try to attack somebody and how we want to guard that, how they, guard certain actions, and if we run similar actions, will they do the same thing against us? Yeah, we'll certainly do that.
Offensive rebounding is something that Iowa State did really well against you guys last time. How do you approach that this time around? Is it effort? Is it schematics? Like, how do you try and improve on that this time around?
I don't know, exactly what we'll do different yet. We're gonna look at some stuff today, to see if there's different ways to maybe guard a couple of things, to maybe be in better position. I think so many times you can say we did a poor job on the glass, which I'm not debating that at all. We didn't do near as well as what we could have. But sometimes offensive rebounds also good fortune too. You don't block out, but the ball doesn't bounce that direction that particular time. Sometimes it's good fortune, and we had a game against Kentucky where we did an unbelievable job on the glass, and we were better against K-State than we were the first time we played them. But I'll be the first to tell you, sometimes, the two times that Oscar was free, maybe the ball didn't bounce that direction, which made it look a little bit better than what it was, but or whatever number. So, but yeah, we'll definitely emphasize that.
And then I'm just curious with Lipsy, the freshman guard for Iowa State, what has stood out?
He's like
to
their
you?
best. He's as good offensive rebounder as there is. He gets more balls and keeps his hands on more balls than anybody his size that I've seen, as far as on the offensive glass. But go ahead and finish your question. What have I
Oh,
said?
no, just what stands out? I mean, the freshman that's playing that big of a role.
Oh yeah, he's poised, fast, active, feel. He's a good player. He's a good player, and I do think there's some things we can do better against him the second time. I hope at least.
Are you amazed at the last 3 games, counting K-State and the next 2, how good these teams are and how highly ranked they are? And
I've been
and do you
amazed
think
for
that- yeah.
there to be 8 games in a row. Yeah, it's just I can't remember ever going through a stretch like this since I've been here at Kansas, Gary. And it's good. It's good for our league. It's good for fans. All those things. But yeah, I can never remember going through a stretch like this one.
So how do you approach the next 2 for the league race?
I don't. I don't. I approach it that we had talked about the league race, and we're halfway through it though. I'm not sure you can ever win a league, kind of a golf analogy, in round 2, but you could certainly lose it. A tournament, and we've done ours. We've done enough to be in the game. But what happens from this point forward, obviously, will be very important to determine who actually is in the best position to win the league. But all we're looking at is, I usually break it down games that week. So all I'm looking at is, and it's always the Monday or the Saturday, Tuesday game that I'm looking at. I don't really consider Tuesday, Saturday the same week. I consider the Tuesday the prior week. So, I'm looking at Saturday, Monday, and what can we possibly do to play great in Ames and then come back and respond on Monday.
Coach, sort of along those lines, halfway through the league season, what has your experience taught you, or how do you navigate this kind of rigorous schedule, survive this, and still have your guys ready to go for the tournament, without getting beaten to death in the league? Along with that, also with Jalen picking up his game, has been playing terrific all year, but is this the point of a season when a leader like Jalen steps up and points over the last 5 games, takes command or takes the game to the next level?
Yeah, I think he's got 133 over 5 games. So when you say, this is a point where he takes his game to the next level, his game's been on the next level. So we just want him to keep doing what he's been doing. You know, we're thrilled at how he's been competing and playing and everything. But I think when you have a best player, you certainly look to that best player to lead you, and he's been doing it all year long, and certainly continue that to be the case. But I don't think you go into it thinking he's got to get 30 for us to win. I never looked at it that way. He just needs to play well, and playing well is a lot more than scoring points. So, and the first part I think was the rigors of the league taking your toll for postseason. That's very well possible for everybody in our league. I don't know any coach or athletic director or fan base would say, okay, let's sacrifice a league to make sure that we're more rested for the tournament. Well, now you're gonna be an 11 seed instead of a 4 seed or a 3 seed too. So the best thing you can do is play your best with what's in front of you. As long as you're not putting guys at risk with injuries and things like that. So I'm not looking at it at all like we need to rest guys or anything like, no, we need to win today. That's how I look at it.
Bill, is there any sort of procedure with MJ that you guys are holding off on until the end of the season?
Not to my knowledge, no. Not to my knowledge, no.
So it's just time with him?
Yes. I don't know if time actually affects spasms, but I don't know exactly the thing. He gets treatment every day, I don't know if that's something that can get better with rest. I would assume it probably can, but obviously we're not gonna rest him now, at least in practice.
You've mentioned coaches in this league talking to each other about how tough it is, what a monster it is. I wonder, have you heard from outside the league, coaches?
I haven't
paying
heard,
attention?
you know what, the only time I talk to coaches in our league right now is, hey, how you doing? Hey, good to see you, you guys are playing well, and good game. I mean, that's really the only time I talk to coaches in the league right now. We don't BS. I mean, there may be some that do, I don't.
Sure.
So most of the things that I hear are from people outside the league.
That's what I was asking.
Watching
Yeah,
the league.
yeah,
Oh yeah, coaches outside our
Right.
league? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, I just think, God dang, it's a, fight every night.
Right.
And so, yeah, I've actually, the coaches in the league, I mean, we all think it and we all know it. Well, I don't think we really BS about it, or talk about it much. But coaches outside the league that watch us, or TV personalities or officials, they all know how good the league is because they have a chance to watch leagues all across America, and they're not focused on this one. Sometimes we may lose sight of how good our league is because this is all we know. People that have a plethora of knowledge based on watching other leagues, I think they probably can be as good a judge on how good our league is as anyone.
When you played, was Hilton as crazed as it is now? And do you have fond memories of Johnny?
Well, I actually love Johnny Orr. He was a friend. I mean, I've driven him around the car, and his daughter lived in Champaign, and I knew him pretty well, and I loved his staff, Hallahan and Wesley and those guys. But I think it's better now. I think it's better. It wasn't as good back when I played, because back when I played, we weren't in the top 10 of the country going in there, so, and they were good because they had, obviously Jeff Grayer was there, Hornacek was there, Barry Stevens was there, so they had great players, but it wasn't, to me, the same interest level that what it appears now. It's because it's terrific now. And TJ, of course, I've said it 100 times. The job he and his staff's done, it's just been incredible.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Bill.